All right, good evening, my friends. China's Evergrande files for bankruptcy. This is about an hour and a half old. CNN Business will give them credit. So this is, official youth unemployment reports halted. That's important. We'll go over that later. I honestly think China is a gigantic Ponzi scheme, and I believe they were in trouble in 2018, 2019. But COVID came, and I don't know if they deliberately released it, and I believe it was designed to basically solve China's uh, demographics problems to kill off all the old and sick people, and it didn't work real well. And plus, their lockdown policy was complete disaster, and reopening has also been a complete disaster. So, Evergrande was once China's second largest property developer by sales, but the firm borrowed heavily and defaulted on its debt in 2021, sparking an ongoing property crisis in the country. Good. Evergrande filed for Chapter 15 bankruptcy protection, which I had to look up, but CNN included the definition here for me, which allows a United States bankruptcy court to grant recognition to an insolvency or debt restructuring proceeding involving foreign creditors. Chapter 15 bankruptcy gives foreign creditors the right to participate in the U.S. bankruptcy case and prohibit discrimination against the foreign creditors. So last month, Evergrande reported it lost $81 billion. That's quite astounding in 2021 and 2022. The filing also revealed Evergrande's total debts had reached 2.43 trillion yuan, or $340 billion, by the end of last year. 2% of China's entire GDP. That's concerning. Well, not for me. I don't mind if China goes down in flames. In March of this year, Evergrande unveiled a multi-billion-dollar restructuring plan, and we'll look at some of it. I'm not 100% sure about my interpretation of what I'm reading there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. To pay off its international creditors, the company had more than 270 billion in total liabilities, making the debt restructuring plan China's largest ever. Congrats to CNN for actually covering something which I believe is important. They'll probably stop covering it once they get told that otherwise. So, Evergrande defaulted in late 2021. In recent sessions, investors have worried about another troubled Chinese developer. This is another big one. Country Garden Holdings, whose bonds were downgraded to deteriorating by a research company legitimately called Gimme Credit, okay, whatever, on Wednesday. So, Evergrande disclosed in April that it had 77% of Class A creditors agree, which account for 17 billion in claims, which include an ad hoc group of bondholders, has acceded, that's a nice word, Bloomberg, fuck your paywall, to a restructuring support agreement. The figure among Class C creditors that account for nearly 15 billion of claims that include margin loans and repurchase obligations is more than 30%, which is short of the 75% needed. So we'll see if their plan gets approved. There's a chance it won't. So, and this is a slight haircut here. You're going to see Evergrande credit investors can receive new notes maturing in 10 or 12 years, or a combination of debt or instruments tied to shares of Evergrande's property services unit, which is fucking in trouble, my friends, and its electrical vehicle division, which is also probably in fucking trouble. Because people realize that electric vehicles are not the utopia they're being sold to us as. They actually fucking suck. People are finding this out. Don't waste your money on an electrical vehicle. That's my advice. You do you. Or the builder itself. Okay, if these new debt instruments are traded publicly, look the fuck out, because they might get murdered. So we'll see. Scenery Journey, which is a creditor, I believe in the Class A category, are slated to get 6.5 billion in new bonds, while TNG investors will receive 800 million for their new notes. I assume that was part of the 17 billion of Class A creditors. I could be wrong. 17 billion gets settled into a little about 7.3 billion. That's quite a haircut. So, China stops reporting youth unemployment as economic pressures mount. You know what solves this, China? Well, you know, but a massive war with Taiwan, which may happen as early as next year. We shall see. And the central bank cuts key interest rate to lowest since 2014 as growth slows in retail sales in industrial output. So, they've only been reporting this since 2014, so kind of sleight of hand there. Financial Times, fuck your paywall too. It's the lowest it's ever been. So if you look at the 10-year, that's as far back as it goes. 25-year max, that's as far back as it goes. Anyway, Maybe it's just that shitty site. Who knows? So China will stop publishing data on youth unemployment weeks after the gauge hit a record low level, a sign of mounting pressure on policymakers. New data pointed to weakness in the recovery of the world's second largest economy. Remember back to the Deagle 2025 report? God, I think I reported on that last year. India was slated to be the number one economy, if I recall correctly. United States being number like 4. So, the People's Bank of China on Tuesday also unexpectedly cut the benchmark interest rate by the biggest margin since the start of the coronavirus pandemic. Largest ever, my friends, reflecting official concerns over a loss of momentum months after COVID-19 restrictions were lifted. Now, they did absolutely a horrible job with the lockdowns, absolutely draconian, my friends, and rest assured, all leftoids wanted their city to look exactly like fucking Shenzhen did. So, they think that's good. They want you welded in your house while they basically get off carte blanche. So Beijing is grappling with a host of economic challenges, including a liquidity crisis in the property sector, a sharp fall in exports, woo, fuck the Chinese exports, flagging foreign investment, and sustained weakness in consumption. Youth unemployment, which China began reporting in 2018, hit 21% in June. The figure was not included in a wider data release for July on Tuesday. The report largely undershot expectations and showed growth slowed in retail sales and industrial production, two intended engines of Chinese recovery. Yeah. They're a Ponzi scheme. They need constant growth or they fail, and they might be failing. In fact, the entire Western banking system may fail as well. So, you remember 2008? I mean, shit, if you're like 38 years old, you might be getting fucking just fucked for the second time in the last 15 years. My God. So this is Quantum Party of America, banking reset. A storm is coming. So banksters never stop doing the same reckless things that caused the last crash in 2008. I still contend that they should have let the entire system crash and burn then, but they didn't want to give dipshit Obama any more trouble that he would need because, yeah, I mean, they still gave us a pretty shitty economy for almost his entire administration, and there was a lot of inflation then that they covered up, much like they're covering up for Beijing Biden. Same cast of characters, by the way, there. A massive storm is now brewing in the entire banking industry. This time we won't be able to bail our way out of it. Now remember in 2008, Bernanke, also a Khazarian, curious, went zero interest rate. Now when that happened, the price of bonds went way up, and they were really the only things that were A, risk-free, and B, paid a decent dividend, because that's what banks needed. So Powell, a Gentile, curious enough, raised interest rates, and when you raise interest rates, it lowers the bonds prices. That's why those regional banks got absolutely ass-reamed in the last year. Sam Bankman-Fried, I'm not sure if he was involved in that trade, but I believe the large regional banks were. And then if they were, almost all banks most likely were, because once they get a strategy that works and solid, they all do the same fucking thing. So we won't be able to bail our way out of it this time for several reasons, including a regional banking implosion, a commercial real estate bubble, yes, because downtown corridors of every major leftoid city is basically a crime-infested hellhole, and you can thank your leftoid DAs that don't prosecute black people that commit crimes. So, because I mean, a lot of people commit crimes or a lot of people don't commit crimes because they're afraid of punishment. It's not that they have this moral fiber, they're just afraid of going to prison. But when you're given carte blanche to act basically any way you fucking want, it's amazing that everybody takes advantage of that when there's absolutely no fucking punishment or anything. Oh God. Anyway, there's a commercial real estate bubble. Yeah, I covered that. International de-dollarization. I've covered that a lot. And a $100 trillion Black Swan event set to go off this year. This could be it. We shall see. The entire Western-led global financial system is about to collapse. Okay, and it's always been a Ponzi scheme, my friends. Our entire Keynesian economics is a Ponzi scheme. If the growth goes away, look the fuck out, because, I mean, the only way we grow, or the only way we keep going in this Keynesian system, is to have growth, which pays off the interest of the debt, but the debt never goes down. I mean, there was a little bit of debt destruction in 2007 and 2008, and that almost brought the entire fucking system down. Imagine if there's some real debt destruction, my friends. It's going to get ugly. So, the global financial system is about to collapse. Nothing our policymakers normally do to prevent crashes will work this time. If they go zero interest rate again, inflation's going to go bonkers. So we must prepare for the most severe financial turbulence in our nation's history and move quickly to execute unorthodox maneuvers that will enable us to adapt and survive. And if there is a major economic collapse in the United States, and all of a sudden either the dollar, it's hyperinflation or something, all these smug fucking leftoids on TikTok, they're not gonna know what the hell to do, because they don't have any fucking marketable skills at all. So anyway, I intended this to be a short one, but apparently I just covered too many topics. So, oh god, I'll just end it here. I'll pick up some non-perishable food, and God bless.